get a clearing, and we'll put the car through its paces one more time, and I'll just kind of enjoy what Porsche has worked so hard to engineer. A little bit of push there onto that tighter turn. Got to actually fucking brake coming into this entry. Now this is a bumpy section here. Ooh, see, the car's hopping, but we are traveling at a big rate of speed. Most of my cars get upset over that. Woo, a little bit hot there. Most of my cars get upset over that bump. Oh yeah. What a fantastic fucking car. Holy shit. Holy moly. Little ABS lock up there. This thing just fucking grips. It's angry. This is fucking angry mechanical grip. All right, and look at that. Right back down the calm speeds because we're entering residential. Man, oh man. My passenger's balls are in his stomach, he just reported to me, but my hand is shaking a little bit because that's how fast this car is. What is up, guys? My Sundays are typically spent devoted entirely to housework, but when your friend rolls up in his 2016 Porsche 911 GT3, you suddenly realize that ever so important housework can wait. I've always been a fan of the GT3 and have used it as the benchmark for my own personal builds. Rather than ramble on, let's get right to it and have a look at why the GT3 has been crowned king time and time again. What is up, guys? Today is a little bit different pace for the channel. We're sitting here in a 2016 Porsche 911 GT3 991.1. This is the 3.8 liter naturally aspirated 475 crank horsepower. This car is minimally optioned. It has the basic steel brakes, but it does have AC navigation and radio. This is going to be an interesting review. I'm going to skip the comfort stuff. There's enough reviews out there on this car, so anybody who wants to know how wonderful these cruise along in the comfort modes, you can find that information Right now, we are in everything as sporty as possible. All the nannies are off, and we're just gonna enjoy a nice spirited run, and I'll kind of relay a little impression here. So what is gonna be most interesting about this is that coming from more of a 90s, early 2000s car, this is fucking technology, and this is the cream of the crop car. This is the benchmark, right? Everybody always bases everything off of the 911 GT3. So this is going to be a pretty interesting review. So, immediate impressions. This engine. Oh, you know me. I'm a naturally aspirated guy. And this motor is something to behold. It is good. And we got a phone ringing already. Sorry if I don't talk too much here, because I'm going to concentrate a little bit. Wonderful feedback. Got to hand it to Porsche, man. They really set their cars up to drive nice. Screaming right up to 9,000 RPM. Fucking rocket ship. Hard on the brakes, and it just slows down right back to normal speed. Man, that is something else. I'll tell you what, anybody out there who owns a GT3, you are very lucky. This is a fantastic car. You can feel the passion that went behind setting this car up. It's so funny because as much as I crap on about newer cars and all the tech and everything in them, this car is fucking quiet. It's rock solid. The rigidity is unbelievable. It makes any 90s Japanese sports car feel like a complete fucking wet noodle, and that is truly incredible. And yeah, even with everything in the sporty modes, this thing is silky smooth right now, cruising along here. Even when you're going fast and you're going over undulations, it doesn't upset the car. It is just completely hooked up and planted. You couldn't get that out of a 90s car, and that's something that's truly, truly amazing. So let's go through this little section here. Very neutral. You'll feel a slight bit of understeer in mid-corner entry. Or solid state mid-corner. I can't even talk. I'm going so fast. Great brakes. Woo-hoo! Oh yeah, this thing is fucking amazing. Awesome car. Awesome car. I haven't had this much adrenaline rushing since the first time I drove my FDR X7 after taking receipt of it and having the motor put together. Holy shit. That is an unbelievable ride. Unbelievable. And I will say this, as much as I crap on about automatic gearboxes, not that this is an automatic, but flappy paddle, double clutch, this is Porsche's PDK. This gearbox fucking snaps gears. It feels like you're driving Gran Turismo, and it's that immediacy that you can always hope for. Every other double clutch that I have driven prior to this can't hold a candle to the gearbox that's in this car. That is truly fantastic. So, while we have a minute to calm down a little bit here, let's talk about the cabin. I love the steering wheel. Everything feels super quality, from the click of the paddle box to just the materials that were used and everything. And the brim of the steering wheel, it's a nice thickness. It fits perfectly in the hands. The dash and everything, the dash layout it's simple, but it's like elegant at the same time. And it's a very pleasant cabin to be on. Outward visibility is fantastic. There's no obstructions. The pillars do not get in the way. A lot of modern cars have gigantic A-pillars, and these are relatively calm. Let's turn around. So I'm gonna do a first gear pull here. I actually have to lift coming up this hill. Man, it's like this reminds me of like the Rolex cars when the last time I was at the 50th anniversary 24-hour race in Daytona, and that sound is just incredible coming out of the back. What a fantastic engine. See, I always say this, that a proper sports car or supercar or exotic car needs to have the bark to back up its, or the bite to back up its bark, and this motor does not disappoint. That noise is what you want. You want high RPM goodness like that, and Porsche nailed it. I have to admit, they nailed it. That is a fantastic noise, and 9,000 RPMs is, you can't ask for anything more. The car's not insanely fast where you can't like exploit it. It's certainly exploitable. There's plenty of rear traction. This car is on the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. There's a tremendous amount of grip out of them, and the car just hooks right up. Having the rear engine and the rearward weight bias, you have weight over the rear wheels, so when you're putting power down at corner exit, it just hooks right up. And the nice thing is that even though it's got a rearward weight bias, the car doesn't get really bad out of shape. It actually has a nice little safe amount of push mid-corner, so you can feel, okay, now I'm getting to the limits, and it doesn't do anything snappy or scary. Pretty impressive. It's truly an impressive car. I may have to rethink all my statements about the 90s cars being the golden era of cars, because when you get out of those cars and hop into something like this, it's like you just rocketed forward in time by a great deal, man. So let's talk a little bit more just about being inside here and just cruising along nicely. So we have some traffic here, and the car really calms down. And even though, like I said, I'm in all the racing modes, this is a very supple ride, and I almost like can't get over how comfy it is just cruising along. I couldn't dream of having this sort of ride quality in any of the cars that I own. So there's definitely some magic at play in the chassis dynamics and the suspension tuning on this car. It's definitely something to withhold. So this is an electric rack car, but this is a fantastic steering rack. This is definitely right up there with the greats. I'd rank this as, in terms of road feedback, you can feel when the front tires start to give away a little bit when you're approaching that limit. It provides sufficient feedback. There's nothing wrong with this rack at all. I don't know why people have even complained about it. There's nothing to complain there, in my opinion. Other than that, the car's got some Alcantara touch points. The whole headliner is wrapped in Alcantara. There's some contrasting stitching on the door pulls here, and it just adds that class of elegance, but with like the hint of motorsport. The Alcantara is really representative of the motorsport history and heritage of these cars. And for a car that's been developed for as long as the 911 has, you feel where that 60 years or 50 years, whatever they're at now, of suspension tuning and engineering has gone into. This is truly a remarkable ride, and that engine's pretty sweet. This is a fucking race engine for the street. There is no way you can deny that. The horsepower per liter in this, well over 100 horsepower per liter, naturally aspirated. That's truly impressive that you can get an engine package like this in a road-going car, where it's as hot as it is when it's on, and then as calm as it is right now when it's off. That's not an easy feat to do, and take that from me, because I've really tried to balance that line with some of my all-motor builds, and it's not an easy thing to do. So the fact that Porsche was able to put an engine package like that together, offer it in a production road-going car, is truly impressive. So kudos to them on that. So we're going to take a little break here, and we'll come back after we get some clearing in this traffic. All right, so we're gonna take a second here and do a little launch control. Man, hooks right up.
that's fast. So I felt there where it actually, like, even though traction control is off, for the launch control it enables it, and I felt it pulling power to, and there was like literally no wheel spin, but the car just lurched forward violently and still kind of put me back in the seat, and it just controlled the rate of slip at like really, really impressive amounts, and it hooked right up and went. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. And I bet you this car, you can repeat whatever the rated quarter mile times are with a system like that. You can just repeat them over and over and over again. So for you drag racers out there who are in the bracket racing, maybe you want to look into something like this where you know it's going to do repeatable results every time, because that's pretty amazing. And we are caught back up here with traffic, unfortunately. One of the downsides of a car that's this fast is that you get up to speed rather quickly. So being able to fully enjoy something like this on the road is it's difficult in that aspect. I'm surprised by how exploitable the car is and how usable it is when you have a clearing in traffic, which is often not the case for a lot of like higher horsepower, faster cars, but this is like very easy to drive. I'm surprised at how easy it is to drive, especially given 911s of the past were always considered widowmakers because of their rearward weight bias and their looseness in the rear end. This car is very docile, and it's so responsive that it's just easy. It's just easy to find that limit and to like keep it there. That's really, really, really impressive. But yeah, when you have something this fast, you catch up the traffic, and then you sit there putting around like this. All right, and we are back. My memory card actually ran out after that launch, so I don't know how much of that got lost, but hopefully not too much. But anyways, a quick memory card change, and we are back in business here. So I have to make a little confession. I'm a little bit I have a lot of anxiety right now driving this car because of how much it costs. It's fast, which doesn't help, but this is a very expensive car, and I don't have cars that are anywhere near this price range. And it's not my car either, so that's the other part. So trying to push it and show you guys a little bit what it's like. I'm definitely a little bit on edge, and it's not that it's bad, right? Sometimes I think it's good that we push ourselves and kind of go out of our comfort zones a little bit and like really kind of seize opportunities. But today is definitely a really cool day, and this is a nice box to tick in the check boxes of car life living. So I definitely have a milestone achieved today. But we're going to cruise along a little bit here. And this is actually a really bumpy road, and you can just kind of see, I don't know how much this is actually translating to the microphone, but like the car just kind of goes right over there and does its thing, and without anything being really upset. I'll give this a comparison to my Z4M. My Z4M takes bumps with the stock when the suspension was stock harsher than this thing does with all the stuff on, and everything in this car is way more stiff, way more aggressive, and it just keeps the car and the body motions like way more under control. So that's definitely really impressive. This is the modern age of the automobile, and it's pretty crazy to really kind of experience that firsthand and see where things have come to. It's impressive. You can't sit behind this car and go fast and say this thing sucks. And if you're doing that, you're just being a complete hater, and you probably should just get out of the car and go sit in the corner, take a time out. So there's a little section of road up here that I always enjoy driving on. It's a nice length of turns. Hopefully we can get a clearing, and we'll put the car through its paces one more time, and I'll just kind of enjoy what Porsche has worked so hard to engineer. little bit of push there onto that tighter turn. Got to actually fucking brake coming into this entry. Now this is a bumpy section here. Ooh, see, the car's hopping, but we are traveling at a big rate of speed. Most of my cars get upset over that. Woo, a little bit hot there. Most of my cars get upset over that bump. Oh yeah. What a fantastic fucking car. Holy shit. Holy moly. Little ABS lock up there. This thing just fucking grips. It's angry. This is fucking angry mechanical grip. All right, and look at that. Right back down the calm speeds because we're entering residential. Man, oh man. My passenger's balls are in his stomach, he just reported to me, but my hand is shaking a little bit because that's how fast this car is. So you see, I did overcook it going into that first turn off of the higher speed section. This car builds speed very fast, and I had a little bit of push. It went a little bit wide, but it didn't get, and I was hard on the brakes there too. So I was on the brakes, and even though I did that, it didn't like want to super rotate and spin off into the guardrail. It was relatively easy to get the car back under control. Pretty impressive piece of kit, man. But yeah, this is a car. It's so fast, like you can't really, like, if you drove like that everywhere on the street, you're gonna fucking go to jail. It's just like it's so unbelievably fast. Like it's hard to like really make use of all that that power. I mean, it's the gearbox definitely makes up a lot of that speed. This thing just snaps gears. I can't believe how quickly this thing snaps gears. A lot of the acceleration numbers for these cars or any of these modern double clutch transmission cars, they do get some of that speed from the gearboxes. They are certainly way faster than any manual box or any automated manual automatic transmissions. That's a lot to say. Automated manual transmissions, but those faster, newer automatic gearboxes. Little steady state understeer there, but man, the car just fucking puts down the power. Hard braking. Yeah, these brakes are fantastic. The pedal feel, holy shit. Like you can modulate braking in this car, and there's so much feedback through that brake pedal. That is truly a wonderful thing. Very, very, very nice. So impressive. And like the car just firms up so much when you're on it. You don't need any more spring rate or shock valving to control the springs and the contact patch of the tires on the ground. This car is just so dialed in from the factory. Like I'm kind of mind blown because every car that I've driven, even like a newer Dodge Viper, like just a GTS, not an ACR. I haven't driven an ACR, but like I felt like there was so much left on the table and so much left to be desired out of the box. This thing is just fucking dialed in good. Man, way to go, Porsche. You guys are fucking great. Oh, there's a BMW up here. It's a nice little section. Oh, it's not even a BMW. What is that, a Kia? Oh, shoot. Sorry, BMW. I thought that was I didn't mean to mistake a Kia for your brand. Whew. So, guys, I don't really know what else to say about this. This has been quite a day, and I certainly have quite a bit to think about and reflect upon here. I may have to go sit in the corner of my garage and cry a little bit because, man, I never thought that I would want a car that didn't have a manual transmission, but there is definitely a certain level of want that is culminating on the inside of my chest right here. Or maybe it's just my fucking heart pumping on the brink of having a heart attack, but either way, this is something. This is something else. I may have to rethink about swearing off all modern cars and maybe make room in the stable one day for something like this. But now, I definitely have to go drive the manual transmission version of this in the 991.2 because I am fucking intrigued. So on that note, I will leave you guys with that. Stay tuned till next time. Done.